Dear students, we have discussed about reproduction. So, reproduction is a process by which the organism produces the young ones of their own kind. So, that is called reproduction. In reproduction, we can see two types, asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction. In asexual reproduction, the progenies are produced by the single parent. The progenies are produced by the single parent. But in sexual reproduction, we can see the involvement of two parents. The gametes are produced in sexual reproduction. The gametes are produced in sexual reproduction. So it is a type of reproduction in which the gametes are produced by an individual, a single individual or two individuals of opposite sexes. So by the fusion of gametes, we can see the development of zygote. Zygote develops into embryo. Embryo produces young ones. So this sexual reproduction is it is an elaborate, very complex and slow process compared to asexual reproduction. So it is a lengthy process. So why can't the organisms adopt only asexual reproduction? What is the necessity of sexual reproduction? As you know, the reproduction is for continuity of life. So even though lifespan is short in all organisms, because of the reproduction, the organisms survive and they continue their life about thousands of years. But the asexual reproduction is enough to fulfill this requirement. What for the sexual reproduction? Why the organisms adopt another mode of reproduction, the sexual reproduction? Just to increase the number, increase in number of organisms, only the asexual reproduction is enough. It divides, redivides and produces large number of progenies. But the purpose of sexual reproduction is to create variation. It is to create variation. So you can see the clones in asexual reproduction. The clones are produced. The progenies so produced are identical to themselves and identical with the parent. But in sexual reproduction, we can see the fusion of male and female gametes. The male and female gametes, the ovum and sperm or pollen grain or egg present in the ovule that unite to form the zygote. The zygote so produced undergo mitotic division. Zygote undergo mitotic division, repeated mitotic division that forms the embryo. And the embryo develops into offspring, a new young ones, offsprings. So the offsprings are produced by the gametic union of male and female gamete in sexual reproduction. So you can see the formation and fusion of gametes produced by an individual or two individuals or opposite sexes. That is the sexual reproduction. During gamete formation, we can see the meiosis. Meiosis is the type of cell division. So it is the male organism and this one is the female. The gonad, in the gonad of male, the meiocytes, the diploid cell, the sperm mother cell or gametic mother cell, that is called meiocyte. The meiocytes that undergo meiotic division. The first meiosis that produces two cells. These two cells are haploid. The diploid cell is converted into haploid cell in meiotic division. Meiosis first. And the second meiotic division, you know, the meiosis involves two divisions. The first meiosis and second meiosis. In the second meiosis, that produces four haploid cells. All these four haploid cells are not identical with the parental cell. We can see the recombination of genes. During this meiosis, the crossing over is the important genetic phenomena. Where it exchanges its chromosome. It exchanges its chromosomal fragment during meiosis, especially the Pachytene and Diplotene stage of meiosis. So this new combination of gene that makes the progeny very different from the parent. So in the same way, the meiocytes in the gonad of female, we can see the production of the meiocytes. The meiocytes or gametic mother cell which is diploid. So the diploid mother cell that forms the haploid ovum or egg, the gamete, by meiotic division. The same procedure, we can see the meiosis, first meiosis, second meiosis, that produces the gametes. So these two gametes are haploid, not only haploid. The crossing over is an important genetic phenomena which brings the recombination of genes, recombination, new combination of genes. So the offsprings from the same parents are not alike, are not alike. They are not identical. The offspring so produced are not identical with themselves, are not identical with the parent. So that is totally different. The creation of variation is the raw material, that is the raw material for evolution. Evolution, the sexual reproduction, the importance of reproduction or the adaptation of sexual reproduction in a living organism to create variation, variation among the organism or within the species, between the species. So this variation is a raw material for evolution. Evolution to take place. If it must adapt with the changing environment. The environment is ever changing. We can't see dinosaurs today because of the changing environment. It was unable to survive with the changing environment. So in the same way, organism has to struggle to survive on this environment. So the creation of variation by sexual reproduction in the meiosis during the gamete formation, the meiosis which brings a recombination of genes, the crossing over, so that creates variation. Variation is a raw material for evolution. To adjust with ever-changing environment, organisms has to adopt the sexual reproduction. That is the importance of sexual reproduction. In asexual reproduction, the progenies are very identical. These are clones, very similar with themselves and similar with the parents. It never brings variation. But even in lower organisms, they adopt some one or the other way to take the benefit of sexual reproduction to create variation and to exist on this living world. Okay. So we have to discuss about the different phases of life. Is any organism immediately after birth produces new organism through sexual reproduction? No. So it has to mature, it has to grow sufficiently to fulfill certain requirement which is necessary for sexual reproduction. Consider the life history of an organism. Life history of an organism. We have to divide this life cycle of any individual into three important categories, three important phases in their life. The first phase, the early stage of life, is called the juvenile phase. It is also called the vegetative phase in plants. Vegetative. Early stage of life. We can see the growth, it attains maturity and comes to the next phase of life, that is the reproductive phase. Reproductive phase. So the juvenile phase reaches the reproductive phase, a reproductive maturity that can able to produce a new individual, the offsprings. So this reproductive phase that varies in organisms to organism. So after the end of the reproductive phase, so that is the starting point of the senescence, the next stage called senescence, senescent phase of life. It is also called the phase of aging or the old age that leads to death of the organism. In the life cycle of all organism or any organism, we can see three distinct stages. The juvenile phase, the early stage of life, where certain stage of growth, development, maturity takes place that attains the reproductive ability. In the reproductive stage that can able to produce the young ones, the offsprings, certain stages of life it reproduces and they continue their life by producing the offsprings, and afterwards at the end of the reproductive phase in certain stages of life it loses the reproductive ability. That is the starting stage of old age, that is the senescence or the senescent phase. The aging that leads to, that is the slowing down of metabolism, the body metabolism that leads to death of an organism. So I have to study in detail the different phases. the juvenile phase, reproductive and senescent phases. So in the first stage, the juvenile phase, so consider a mango seed. Mango seed, if you sow this mango seed, is it immediately germinates, it immediately sprout and germinate to produce the radical and plumule? ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಮಾವಿನ ಗೊರಟೆಯನ್ನು ಹಾಕಿದರೆ ತಕ್ಷಣದಲ್ಲಿ ಅದು ಮೊಳಕೆ ಹೊಡೆದು ಬಿಡ್ತದ? ತಕ್ಷಣದಲ್ಲಿ ಮೊಳಕೆ ಹೊಡೆದು ದೊಡ್ಡ ಮರ ಆಗಿ ಬೆಳೆದು ಬಿಡ್ತದ? ದೊಡ್ಡ ಟ್ರೀ ಆಗಿ ಹೂವು ಹಣ್ಣು ಕಾಯಿ ಬಿಡಕ್ಕೆ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿಬಿಡ್ತದ? ಮತ್ತೊಂದು ಮಾವಿನಕಾಯಿಯನ್ನು ಬಿಡಕ್ಕೆ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತದ? ಇಲ್ಲ. ಒಂದು ಬೀಜ ಮೊಳಕೆ ಬರಬೇಕು, ಅದು ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು. ದಟ್ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸಸ್ ದ ರೂಟ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್, ದ ಶೂಟ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್, ದಟ್ ಗ್ರೋಸ್ ಆಸ್ ಎ ಶೂಟ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ and sufficiently matures. Once it has been sufficiently matured, that is, it completes its early stage of life, the vegetative phase is completed, then only it comes to the onset of reproduction, a reproductive phase, and it is able to produce the mango. Then it can able to produce the mango fruit. It can flower and produce the fruit. So the reproduction starts. So in early stage of life, certain stage, in all organism we can see some early stage of life, even in human beings, immediately after birth a female is able to produce a new ones? No. So it reaches certain stages of maturity, even in human beings. Before the onset of puberty, prior to puberty, we can see certain years of lifespan. In that stage it shows growth and maturity. Nearly about 12 to 15 years in female comes to the puberty, the sexual maturity, the early stage of life, that is the juvenile phase. The juvenile phase where we can see some growth, development and maturity. So she comes to puberty at the age of 12, 13 or 14 or maybe 15. So the first menstrual cycle starts. So that is called menarche, and the reproductive stage ends about 45 to 50 or 55 years, that is called menopause. It starts with menarche and ends with menopause, that is the reproductive phase. But in males, so nearly about 13 to 16 years, a male individual, a human individual comes to puberty. So that is the sexual maturity. We can see some structural changes and also morphological changes. So that is the development of the facial hairs, development of mustache, the facial hairs in males, the development of secondary sexual character, and in females the enlargement of breast. So all these are secondary sexual character in males and females. So attainment of reproductive maturity. Before the attainment of reproductive maturity, prior to the reproduction or reproductive phase, early stage of life which shows growth, development and maturity, that is called the juvenile phase. In plant it is also called vegetative phase. But the plant flowers and produces the fruits. So can you see the availability of these fruits, some fruits like jackfruit, mango, apple throughout the year? No. So the jackfruit, the apple, mango is available in only certain seasons. It flowers even though the onset of reproductive ability, it can able to produce the flowers. Certain plants produces flowers only in certain seasons only. So the mango, jack is available in a particular season in a year. So it is not available. Now the mangoes are made into a different variety. A different mango varieties is available. So that can produce the fruits throughout the year. But naturally in wild, so it produces in certain season only. In plants, especially in annual and biennial plants, annual and biennial plants, there is clear-cut differentiation of juvenile, reproductive and senescence phase. But in perennials, ಬಹುವಾರ್ಷಿಕ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಕರಿತೇವೆ, ಇಟ್ಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಡಿಫಿಕಲ್ಟ್ ಟು ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಶಿಯೇಟ್ ದೀಸ್ ಡಿಫರೆಂಟ್ ಸ್ಟೇಜಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಲೈಫ್. ಆನ್ಯುವಲ್ ದೇ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ಸ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಲೈಫ್ ಸ್ಪ್ಯಾನ್ ವಿತ್ ಇನ್ ಎ ಇಯರ್. ಸಾಮಾನ್ಯವಾಗಿ ಗ್ರಾಸಸ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ರೈಸ್, ವೀಟ್, ಓಟ್, ಬಾರ್ಲಿ, ರೈ. ಈ ಮೊನೊಕಾಟ್ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟು ಮತ್ತು ಹರ್ಬೇಷಿಯಸ್ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟು ಒಂದು ವರ್ಷದೊಳಗೆ ತನ್ನ ಲೈಫ್ ಸೈಕಲ್ನ ಮುಗಿಸ್ಬಿಡ್ತದೆ. ಇದು ಬೀಜ ಮೊಳಕೆ ಹೊಡೆದು ಬೆಳೆದು ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಗಿಡ ಆಗಿ ಎಲೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬಿಡ್ತದೆ. ನಂತರದಲ್ಲಿ ಫ್ಲವರ್ ಫ್ರೂಟ್ ಆಗಿ ವಿತಿನ್ ಎ ಸ್ಪ್ಯಾನ್ ಆಫ್ ಎ ಇಯರ್ ಇಟ್ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ಸ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಲೈಫ್ ಸೈಕಲ್. ದೋಸ್ ಆರ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆನ್ಯುವಲ್ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ಸ್. ಬೈಆನ್ಯುವಲ್, that completes its lifespan undergo three phases of life within a span of 2 years, especially the radish, ಮೂಲಂಗಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಕರಿತೇವೆ, ಅಥವಾ ಕ್ಯಾರೋಟ್. They completes their life cycle within a span of 2 years. Those plants are called biennial plants. But in perennials, ಬಹುವಾರ್ಷಿಕ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಕರಿತೇವೆ, 2 ವರ್ಷಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಅದರ ಜೀವಿತಾವಧಿ ಇರುವಂಥದ್ದು. ಮ್ಯಾಂಗೋ ಟ್ರೀ 200 ರಿಂದ 300 ವರ್ಷ ಬದುಕ್ತದೆ, ಪ್ರತಿ ವರ್ಷ ಹೂ ಬಿಡ್ತದೆ, ಪ್ರತಿ ವರ್ಷ ಹಣ್ಣು ಬಿಡ್ತದೆ. ಇದು ಇಂಥದ್ದನ್ನು ಪೆರೇನಿಯಲ್ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಕರಿತೇವೆ. ಆದರೆ ಈ ಇಂಟರ್ ಫ್ಲವರಿಂಗ್ ಪೀರಿಯಡ್ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ, ಇದನ್ನು ಜುವೆಲೈಲ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಕರೀವ ಅಥವಾ ಮ್ಯಾಚೂರ್ ರಿಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಫೇಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಕರೀವ. ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಡಿಫಿಕಲ್ಟ್ ಟು ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಶಿಯೇಟ್ ದೀಸ್ 3 phases of life in these perennial plants. But some plants shows unusual pattern of flowering, especially in bamboos. In bamboo, ಬಿದಿರು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಕರಿತೇವೆ, ಬಿದಿರು ಅಥವಾ ವಾಟೆ, bamboos. In bamboos, they flower once in their lifetime, about 50 to 100 years. So it flowers only once in their life. ಇದರ ಜೀವಿತಾವಧಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇದು ಒಂದು ಸುತ್ತು ಮಾತ್ರ ಫ್ಲವರ್ ಬಿಡ್ತದೆ. 50 ರಿಂದ 100 ವರ್ಷ ಅವಧಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಒಮ್ಮೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಫ್ಲವರ್ ಬಿಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಆಮೇಲೆ ಸತ್ತೋಗ್ಬಿಡ್ತದೆ. ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸಿಂಗ್ ದಿ ಲಾರ್ಜ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಫ್ಲವರ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಫ್ರೂಟ್ಸ್, ದೆ ಡೈ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಲೈಫ್ ಸೈಕಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಬೂ, ದಟ್ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸಸ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಒನ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ದೇರ್ ಲೈಫ್ ದ ಫ್ಲವರ್. ಬಟ್ ಒನ್ ಮೋರ್ ಸಚ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಈಸ್ ದಿ ನೀಲಕುರಂಜಿ. ನೀಲಕುರಂಜಿ ಇದನ್ನು ಗುರಿಗೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಕರಿತೇವೆ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ, ನೀಲಕುರಂಜಿ. ದಿ ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಬೈಲಾಂಥಸ್ ಕುಂತಿಯಾನ, ದಿ ಸೈಂಟಿಫಿಕ್ ನೇಮ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಬೈಲಾಂಥಸ್ ಕುಂತಿಯಾನ. So this Strobilanthus kuntiana forms a large stretches in the valley, the large tracts in the hills of Karnataka, Tamil Nadu and Kerala, and it produces the flowers once in 12 years. Once in 12 years. Recently it flowered, the plant flowered in 2006 and very recently in 2018. So the large tracts of the hills that looks lavender color because of the beautiful flower of this Strobilanthus kuntiana, the Neelakuranji. So the total hill tracts that looks lavender color and that attracts large number of tourists. So this unusual flowering pattern, it is very difficult to differentiate these different stages of life or life cycle. But in animals, before the onset of the reproductive phase, we can see certain morphological and physiological change in the juvenile phase. In the early stage of life in animals, we can see certain morphological and physiological change that attains the reproductive maturity. Have you observed certain birds that lays eggs in particular seasons only? Not throughout the year. Not only birds, even amphibians, the frogs, some lizards that lays eggs in particular season. You know the poultry birds that lays the eggs throughout the year. It is not the process of reproduction, the poultry birds are fowls, but it is a commercial exploitation of eggs for human welfare. In some female placental mammals, female placental mammals that exhibit, female placental mammal exhibit certain cyclical changes in the activities of their ovaries, accessory ducts, as well as hormones. Such reproductive cycles occurs in non-primate mammals like dogs, sheep, deers, cows, tigers, etc. So such reproductive cycles that occurs, or reproductive changes that occurs, the cyclic changes occurs in the reproductive organ of these non-primates are called estrous cycle. The cyclical changes that occurs in the reproductive organ and accessory ducts and hormones of non-primates are called estrous cycle. But such cyclical changes in the reproductive phase of primates, primate mammals, primates are primate mammals like apes, humans and monkeys. Monkeys are called menstrual cycle. Menstrual cycle. So very important question, you can remember what is estrous cycle and what is menstrual cycle. Ovaries, accessory ducts as well as hormones in the reproductive phase of non-primates is called estrous cycle. Such reproductive changes that occurs in primate mammals are called menstrual cycle. But certain mammals which live in wild natural condition that shows this reproductive phase in certain favorable seasons only. Favorable seasons only. Those are called seasonal breeders. Seasonal breeders. Seasonal breeders. But some organisms breed and produces the young ones throughout their reproductive phases, not with particular season, that can able to reproduce and produces the young ones throughout their reproductive phases. So those organisms are called, those mammals are called the continuous breeders. Continuous breeders. So you can see two types of breeders. It is also very important, one more question, seasonal breeders and continuous breeders. At the end of this reproductive phase, that is the onset of senescence. It is an indication of the senescence or old age, to become an old age. So that is the aging. That leads to the decrease, a concomitant change in the body metabolism, that leads to the slowing down of body metabolism, that leads to the death of the organism. So that's about the life cycle of each and every individual that follows this pattern like juvenile phase, reproductive and senescent phase. Now we have to discuss about the events of sexual reproduction, the different events in sexual reproduction. What are the events that takes place during sexual reproduction? So you can divide the events into pre-fertilization, fertilization and post-fertilization. The events of sexual reproduction. The reproductive organ is totally different in all organisms. Even though the structure in the reproductive organ is different, totally different in all organisms that follow a unique pattern of event and processes in sexual reproduction. Almost all organisms that follow the same pattern of events and processes in sexual reproduction. The structure of reproductive organ that varies in different organisms. So these the events that includes the formation of gametes, the formation of male and female gametes, that is the gametogenesis and also the gamete transfer, the union of the male and female gamete, that is called syngamy or zygote formation, the fertilization process. After fertilization, that develops into embryo, embryo develops into young ones. So all organisms that follows the similar pattern of events during sexual reproduction. For our convenience, we have to divide it into three different stages. So the stage before fertilization, that is called pre-fertilization events, and after the production of gametes, the next event is fertilization. After fertilization and formation of zygote, you can see the post-fertilization changes. Post-fertilization, the event is called post-fertilization. So you have to discuss in detail the three important aspects of sexual reproduction. And that means before fertilization, fertilization and post-fertilization changes. What happens before fertilization? That is in the pre-fertilization stage. In the pre-fertilization stage, we can see the production of gametes, that is called gametogenesis. We can see two important stages in pre-fertilization. the gametogenesis and that is the formation of gamete and gamete transfer. Gamete transfer, the transfer of gametes to the vicinity of egg. Transfer, the two events, the important events, how the gametes are formed. What is gametogenesis? Gametogenesis ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು, ಹೇಗೆ ಗ್ಯಾಮೆಟ್ ಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಜನರಲ್ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಇದು ರೀಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನಿಗೆ. ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಆಗಿ ಆಂಜಿಯೋಸ್ಪರ್ಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಗೆ ಗ್ಯಾಮೆಟ್ ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ, ಒಂದು ಫ್ಲವರ್ಲಿ ಹೇಗೆ ಪೋಲನ್ ಗ್ರೇನ್ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ, ಅಥವಾ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಎಂಬ್ರಿಯೋ ಸ್ಯಾಕ್ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ, ಇದನ್ನು ಡೀಟೇಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ, ಸೆಕ್ಚುಯಲ್ ರಿಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಇನ್ ಆಂಜಿಯೋಸ್ಪರ್ಮ್. ಥರ್ಡ್ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ಲಿ ದ ಗ್ಯಾಮೆಟೋಜೆನಿಸಿಸ್ ಇನ್ ಹ್ಯೂಮನ್ ಬೀಯಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ ಮೂರನೇ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ಲಿ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಡೀಟೇಲ್ ಆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟನ್ನು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ತಗೊಳ್ತೇವೆ. ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಎ ಜನರಲೈಸ್ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್. ಈ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇವೆಂಟ್ ನಾವು ರೀಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ಗೆ ಸಂಬಂಧಪಟ್ಟಿರೋದು ಅಲ್ಗಿಯಿಂದ ಹಿಡಿದು, ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ಟೀರಿಯಾದಿಂದ ಹಿಡಿದು ಆಂಜಿಯೋಸ್ಪರ್ಮಿಕ್ ಟ್ರೀವರೆಗೆ, ಒಂದು ಅಮೀಬಾದಿಂದ ಹಿಡಿದು ಹ್ಯೂಮನ್ ಬೀಯಿಂಗ್ವರೆಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಆರ್ಗನಿಸಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಟ್ಟಾಗಿ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಮನ್ ಆಗಿ ತಗೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ, ಪ್ರತಿ ಇಂಡಿವಿಜುವಲ್ ಅನ್ನು ತಗೊಳ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಕಾಮನ್ ಆಗಿ ಈ ಆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅನ್ನು ತಗೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ. ಗ್ಯಾಮೆಟೋಜೆನಿಸಿಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಗ್ಯಾಮೆಟೋಜೆನಿಸಿಸ್? The production of haploid gametes, the production of haploid gametes from diploid meiocytes is called gametogenesis. The production of haploid gametes, the male and female gametes are haploid. Both male and female gametes produced by the same individual or two different individuals of opposite sexes. The gamete is haploid. All gametes are haploid. It is whether it is produced from a diploid individual or it may be produced from a haploid individual. If the individual is haploid, the division is mitosis. If the individual is diploid, the division is meiosis, reduction division. So from the reproductive organs, the gonads of male and female, the gamete producing cell is called meiocytes. These meiocytes undergo meiosis, the first meiotic division and second meiotic division. ಹೋದ ವರ್ಷ ಕಲ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಿ ನೀವು ಮಿಯೋಸಿಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ರಿಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಡಿವಿಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಕರಿತೇವೆ. ಕ್ರೋಮೋಸೋಮ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಪೇರೆಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆಯೋ ಅದರ ಅರ್ಧದಷ್ಟು ಗ್ಯಾಮೆಟಿಗೆ ಬರ್ತದೆ. ರಿಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಡಿವಿಷನ್, ಎರಡು ಡಿವಿಷನ್ ನಡೀತದೆ. ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಹ್ಯೂಮನ್ ಬೀಯಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ 2n 46 ಕ್ರೋಮೋಸೋಮ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಮಿಯೋಸಿಸ್ ಆಯ್ತು, ಇದು 23 n ನಂಬರಿಗೆ ಬರ್ತದೆ. ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಮಿಯೋಸಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಸಿಮಿಲರ್ ಟು ಮೈಟೋಸಿಸ್ ಇದ್ದಾಗೆ ಅದೇ 23 ಮೇಂಟೈನ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಒಂದು ಸೆಲ್ ಇರೋದು 4 ಸೆಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ, 4 ಗ್ಯಾಮೆಟಿಕ್ ಸೆಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪ್ಲಾಯ್ಡ್ ಗ್ಯಾಮೆಟ್ಸ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಡಿಪ್ಲಾಯ್ಡ್ ಮಿಯೋಟಿಕ್ ಸೆಲ್, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಗ್ಯಾಮೆಟೋಜೆನಿಸಿಸ್. Different organisms produces different types of gametes. For example, in some algae, all gametes produced by the parent, they are very similar, especially in cladophora, one of the algae, the cladophora. So in this algae, we can't differentiate the two gametes. Both of these two gametes are very similar morphologically, they are identical, so called isogametes, or it is also called homogametes. The gametes are morphologically identical. So these two we can't differentiate, we can't identify or discriminate the male and female gametes. Both of these two gametes are very alike, very similar. So we call it as isogametes. We can see the union of these isogametes in some algae. Example, cladophora. But in certain fungi, all other higher organisms, the bryophyte, pteridophyte, angiosperms, and also the animals, we can see the production of different types of gametes. Usually the female gametes are egg or ovum or egg, that is slightly large than the male gamete. The male gamete is smaller than the female and that contain a biflagellated coiled structure, that is called flagella. It is motile. The male gamete is motile. It is called sperm or antherozoid. It is called antherozoid in bryophyte, pteridophyte. So it is an active swimmer that reaches the egg for fertilization. It needs water medium for its movement. So the egg is our ovum, the female gamete. This one is the female gamete, that is stationary, usually stationary. The male gamete is motile in nature. So these are the two gametes are very different, morphologically different. We call it as anisogametes or heterogametes. These are called heterogametes. Heterogametes or anisogametes. Okay, we have to discuss the sexuality, the male and female sexes in organisms, the sexuality during gamete formation. Consider the sexuality of organisms. We can see the male and female sex. In almost all organisms, we can see two important sex, that is the male and female. In flowers, in flowering plant, we can see the production of male and female flowers. Male and female flowers that is born on the same plant, same or of different plants. If male and female reproductive organ or the male and female flowers are born by the same plant, that is called bisexual plant. Bisexual that produces both male and female flowers, bisexual flowers. Especially in fungi and plants, it is also called monoecious or homothallic. Monoecious or homothallic, because in lower organisms like bryophyte and pteridophytes, we can see the thallus organization of plant body. Within the thallus, we can see the male and female sex organs that produces the gametes. In bryophyte and pteridophyte, we can see the thallus organization. The plant body is not differentiated into root, stem and leaves. In this thallus, we can see the production of male and female sex organ on the same plant body, the gametophyte. So it is called homothallic. In certain fungi also, we call it as homothallic. It is also called monoecious or bisexual. In the same plant, we can see the production of male flower and also female flowers that is born on the same plant. The example is coconut. Coconut is a good example. Coconut, cucumber, etc. So you can see the male flower that produces the stamens in the spadix of coconut. You can see a small structure at the base, that is the female flower that develops into nut later on, that is coconut. So you can see ಒಂದು ಸಣ್ಣ ಮಿಳ್ಳೆ ಕಣ್ಣಂಗೆ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತದೆ, ತೆಂಗಿನ ಮಿಳ್ಳೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಕರಿತೇವೆ. ತೆಂಗಿನ ಮರನಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಳಗಡೆ ಇರುವಂಥ ಏನು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ತೆಂಗಿನ ಮಿಳ್ಳೆ ಒಂದು ದೊಡ್ಡ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ಏನು ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತದೆ, ಇದು ಫೀಮೇಲ್ ಫ್ಲವರ್. ಇದು ಫೀಮೇಲ್ ಫ್ಲವರ್. ಮೇಲ್ಗಡೆ ಇರುವಂಥ ಫ್ಲವರ್, ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಫ್ಲವರ್, ವೈಟಿಶ್ ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಫ್ಲವರ್ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತದೆ, ಅದು ಬೀಳ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತದೆ, ನೀವು ನೋಡಿರ್ಬೋದು. ಇದನ್ನು ಈ ಮೇಲ್ ಫ್ಲವರ್ನ ಸ್ಟಾಮಿನೇಟ್ ಫ್ಲವರ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಕರಿತೇವೆ. ಸ್ಟಾಮಿನೇಟ್ ಫ್ಲವರ್ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸಸ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಟೇಮೆನ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ಮಾತ್ರ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತದೆ. ಇದು ಆಂಥರ್ನ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತದೆ, ಆಂಡ್ರಿಷಿಯಂ ಮಾತ್ರ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಫ್ಲವರ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್, ದಿ ಮೇಲ್ ಫ್ಲವರ್ ಈಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ staminate flower. That is called staminate, that contain the stamen, staminate flower. But the pistil is absent. The gynoecium is absent in this male flower. But the female flower that contain only the gynoecium. We can see the gynoecium, the ovary, stigma. So this is the ovary, stigma, and we can see the calyx, the persistent calyx. That's all. There is no stamen at all. So this only pistil is present. The female reproductive organ is present. It is called pistillate flower. Idana pistillate flower anta heli karite. Pistillate flower or female flower. But some are heterothallic. Some flowers, the male and female flowers are born on different plants, two different plants. Those are called heterothallic. Heterothallic. In fungus, we call it as fungus, and bryophyta, we call it as heterothallic, or it is also called the unisexual flower or unisexual organisms. So it is also called dioecious. The male and female sex organ is born on different organisms or different plants, different organisms. That is called heterothallic or unisexual or dioecious. For example, the papaya. In papaya, you can see only the male flower in some plants and only the female flower in some other plants. And date palm is another example. date palm. So only either the male or the female flowers are present in this plant, not both. So those plants are unisexual plants that produces only one type of flowers, either male or female. So in fungi also are certain bryophyte only that produces the antheridium, unisexual in nature. Some thallus produces archegonium, the female sex organ and female gametes, the heterothallic, that is also called unisexual. So okay, that's about the sexuality of organisms. But in some animals also we can see the male and female sex organ that is present within an individual, especially in sponges, earthworm, leech, liver fluke, tapeworm, liver fluke, etc. So both the sexes are present in earthworm, sponges, leech, tapeworm, liver fluke. In many more organisms comes under Platyhelminthes and also the sponges. And also in some Annelida, we can see the appearance of both male and female sex organ within a single organism. Both sex organs are present in earthworm. It also produces the male gamete. It also produces the female gamete. Male and female sex organs are present within a single organism. Those organisms are called hermaphrodites. Very important question. Hermaphrodites are bisexual organisms. These are all called bisexual organisms or hermaphrodites. But all other higher animals, we can see the unisexual nature. Most of the higher animals, that is unisexual in nature, that produces only the male gametes in some individual. In female, that produces the female gametes. The female individual produces the female gamete. So you have to discuss the cell division during gamete formation. The cell division during gamete formation. What type of cell division takes place during gamete formation? Usually the gametes are haploid in nature. The gametes are haploid in nature. Whatever the type of individual, it may be haploid. The life cycle of an individual is haploid or maybe diploid. Always the gametes so produced is haploid in nature. That is haploid. Then what type of cell division it follows? Cell division during gamete formation. We have to study the cell division during gamete formation. If an organism that exhibits the haplontic life cycle, so the organism itself is a haploid. Number of algae, fungi and bryophyte. In this, the organism, the cell of the organism is itself haploid. It never undergo meiotic division. The division during gamete formation must be mitosis. It follows the mitotic division. Mitosis is the type of cell division and it increases the number of gametes, number of haploid gametes. It produces the haploid gametes from the haploid parental cell. But in a diploid organism, most of the organism in haplodiplontic life cycle or diplontic life cycle, pteridophytes, gymnosperms, angiosperms, and also the higher animals. We can see the diploid organisms, the diploid myocytes, that is the gametic mother cell. Myocytes are also called gametic mother cell. It is a diploid that contain two sets of chromosome. It undergo meiotic division, meiosis. So you can see the first meiotic division that results in the formation of two cells. Both of these two cells are haploid. Reduction division, the chromosome number reduces to half. For example, in human beings, 46 is the diploid number. When it undergoes first meiotic division, it contains only 23 chromosome in the two cells, the meiotic product. It again undergoes second meiotic division, second meiosis, and produces two more cells. Each cell divides into two more cells. Totally 4 haploid cells are formed. 4 haploid cells, its gametes. So the gametes are haploid in nature. In always gametes are haploid in nature, whether it may be a haploid individual or diploid individual. If it is a diploid individual, it follows meiotic division, a reduction division, chromosome number reduces to half, that is half to its parental chromosome. If it is haploid, then the haploid maintains itself in the gamete through mitotic division. It follows the mitotic division or mitosis, and the diploid organism follows meiosis as a type of cell division. You can observe certain organisms, their diploid myocytes and the haploid gametes. Just you can observe different organisms, their chromosome number in the myocytes that contain a diploid number of chromosomes, that is reduced to haploid during gamete formation. It follows the meiotic division, the chromosome number reduces to half. For example, in human beings, the meiotic number, the chromosome number in myocyte is 46, it is reduced to 23, exactly half of its meiotic number. In houseflies, the chromosome number in myocyte is 12, chromosome number in gamete is 6, reduced to half. In rat, chromosome number 42 in myocytes, 21 in gametes. In dog, 78 as the meiotic number, 39 is the gametic number. In cat, 38 is the chromosome number in myocyte and 19 is the gametic number, chromosome number in gametes. In fruit flies, the total number of chromosome in myocyte, the diploid is 8, only 8, and 4 in gametes. In Ophioglossum, you can see large number of chromosome in the myocyte, 1260, a fern, a type of fern, that is reduced to half, that is 630. In apple, we can see meiotic number 34, the gametic number 17. In rice, 24, Oryza sativa, rice 24 is the meiotic number and 12 is the gametic number. In maize, 20 meiotic number, 10 gametic number. In potato, 48 meiotic number, 24 gametic number. In butterfly, 380 chromosomes are present in the meiosis, that is the gametic mother cell in the myocyte, and 190 chromosomes comes to gamete. So in onion, 2n number is equal to 16, that is the meiotic number, and n number in gamete, the haploid, that is only 8. So this chart gives some important aspect how the chromosome number reduces to half. What is the gametic number and what is the number of chromosome present in the myocyte. So to discuss the gamete transfer. Gamete transfer. Prior to fertilization, the gamete must be transferred and that come close to each other for fertilization. That is called the gamete transfer. Usually in almost all organisms, the females are stationary and we can see the movement of male gametes. In bryophyte, pteridophyte and also thallophyte, that needs water as one of the medium for the movement of these gametes. So this one is the female gametes. Through the water medium by the help of biflagellated structure, the male gamete moves towards the female gamete, helps for fertilization. But in higher organisms, say in angiosperms, we can see the production of stamens, especially in the bisexual self-pollinating plants. The stamens are very close to stigma. The stamens are very close to stigma, and it follows the synchrony in the maturation of pollen grain and also receptivity of the stigma. It is very close to stigma. When it releases the pollen grain, it is come in contact with the stigma. Self-fertilization occurs. Self-pollination occurs in these plants. But in dioecious plants, that is unisexual plants, it adopts a process called pollination, the cross-pollination. In this, we can see the transfer of pollen grain from anther to stigma by the agent of water, wind, or maybe insects or some other animals. Through the agent, it gets pollinated. The male gamete are pollen grain. Pollen grain is the male gamete that comes to the vicinity of egg. Vicinity of egg. Egg is present within the ovule. Ovule is present within ovary. Ovary. When it fall on this receptive stigma, the stamen, it produces the pollen tube. To reach the female gamete, egg, the pollen grain germinate and produces the pollen tube, and through this pollen tube, it discharges the male gametes. It discharges the male gamete to the vicinity of egg. So that is the pollen grain is the carrier of male gamete in plants that carries the male gametes to the vicinity of egg for syngamy or fertilization. But in some animals, they adopted different structures to transfer the gamete to the vicinity of egg. By having certain structures, the copulatory organ, we call it as copulatory organ for sexual intercourse, to transfer the sperm to the vicinity of egg or towards the womb. So these are the method of gamete transfer. So I have to discuss in detail the fertilization and post-fertilization events in the next video. Thank you. Thanks one and all.